And I remember when I was at the funeral, I ended up seeing his ex-girlfriend there, and I felt really bad. I ended up walking up to her saying, hey, like, I just want to say, like, I'm really sorry for your loss. Oh, thanks, Baba. You don't understand how much he really cared about you. Like, he was the only guy that was comfortable with you being around me. And then one thing led to another. Let's just say this funeral ended up getting really sus. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Baba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing but crazy story. Now, this story takes place back when I was in grade 11. My grade 11 year was one of the years where I'm not gonna lie to you, I was major gamer and major player, meaning that I would always go out and do the devil's tango, but still being able to hit my Call of Duty trick shots. Actually, knowing that BO6 is coming out, honestly, it gets me really excited because I'm gonna be streaming it like all day on Twitch. But going on from there, I remember basically in the middle of my grade 11 year, there was an accident that happened that was really, really bad. Now, I'm not even gonna try to be over dramatic about this. This was a serious moment in my whole high school history that everyone in my school remembers. But basically, apparently one day during lunchtime, there was a guy in the auto shop. Now, this guy, he was loved by a lot of different people, and he was actually pretty popular. And the reason he was popular was his passion for cars and how much he would hang out in the auto shop to basically work on vehicles that he wanted to learn about. But sadly, one day, without supervision, he ended up going there and he ended up doing a massive mistake where he would go under one of the vehicles, and without this vehicle being properly propped up, it ended up landing right onto him. It landed on him and actually ended his life, which honestly, I just want to say quick RIP to him. Rest in peace. I hope you are doing good up there. But knowing this accident happened, I remember out of nowhere, the person that ended up finding the body under the vehicle was his own girlfriend. Now, this guy had a girlfriend that he was dating for like only 6 months, but still, they were pretty close in a relationship. And me, I was close to this guy, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like, we were just close because we played rugby together. But when the whole school figured out about the accident, there was a ceremony about it, there was an assembly, there was a lot of things going on. They even hosted like a quiet moment for the whole entire week of his passing, where we would have a moment of silence for him as if he was a fallen soldier. Now, don't get me wrong, having a student in school passing away is very, very sad. And his parents were always like blaming the school, trying to sue him, and it became a really, really big deal in my school. But I remember as a couple months went by, one day I was walking down the school hallway and this girl walks up to me, his ex-girlfriend, I guess I could say now, or would it be widowed girlfriend? I don't really know, to be honest, but basically his girlfriend ended up walking up to me saying, hey, Bubba, I'm handing these out today. Do you want to help me out? Basically, there's a funeral happening and his parents aren't allowed in the school since the whole suing thing. So would you want to help me out and just hand these out real quick? I mean, yeah, sure. I can help hand these out to some of the students he knew and the rugby team if you want. Yeah, that'll be amazing. Thanks. It's been so hard without him. And like, honestly, like I've never felt like myself ever since it happened. And the more she was talking, the more I realized she was going to start crying. So I let her basically vent and let her cry on my shoulder. Now, before anyone says anything, no, I was not in any way attracted to this girl whatsoever. If anything, I looked at her as if she was a widow and I felt bad. And no, I am not attracted to females with dead boyfriends, okay? I'm not insane. But in my mind, I knew he would want me to listen to her, and that's what I did. I heard her talk about all the moments they had and everything, but one thing that she would always bring up as me and her were handing out flyers were how her boyfriend was apparently super comfortable with me being around her. I never understood this, and that's pretty weird to me because he knew 100% I was a major player. But I guess I respected the bro code, and she also respected that from me. And well, one thing led to another. I remember after we handed out a bunch of flyers throughout the school, she looked at me and said, oh, Bubba, is it cool if I get your number? I never ended up getting it because, well, I didn't want to be weird, but you know, since he's gone now, I'm sure he would want me to get your number. Yeah, sure, you can get my phone number. I remember we ended up switching phones and I gave her my number. And I remember there was a girl down the hallway that knew what was going on, and she walked up to me after this widow girlfriend left. She walked up to me and said, Bubba, why are you getting that girl's number? You do realize her boyfriend just died. Yeah, no, I know the guy, and you know, she asked me for it, and you know, I didn't want to say no because I felt bad. So you gave her your number out of pity for her dead boyfriend? Okay, you're actually a jerk. Bro, what? In that situation, I felt like it was a lose-lose scenario. Like there was no possible way I could actually, you know, get away with it. So I just ended up saying, yeah, I guess I'm a jerk for getting her number, even though she asked me for my number. I don't really know. But I remember as a couple days went on, everyone was talking about the funeral, and people were reaching out to me, asking me if I was going, asking me if I had a ride and all this stuff. And I said to everyone I knew what I was doing. But on the day of the funeral, well, things got really, really weird. Because I remember the day of the funeral, we all ended up going to basically the burial grounds and we ended up burying him in his grave. His parents paid for a massive gravestone, by the way. Like, no joke. Like, he could have had a statue of himself at this point. But honestly, like, we were all having a sad moment and it was a really sad day. I remember actually crying and shedding a tear because, well, I'm gonna be honest, it's not easy seeing people go away in your life. If anything, if you guys have ever had someone really close to you pass away, comment down below and RIP to them. But I remember as I was like, you know, staring down and hearing this whole ceremony, I recognized that someone ended up walking up beside me. And when I looked over to see who it was his girlfriend. His girlfriend ended up looking at me saying, "Baba, this is so sad. I never thought this would happen." Yeah, no, honestly, it's really sad. I can't imagine how you're feeling right now. Yeah, like, you have no idea. Like, he cared so much about us. And, you know, if he was here right now, I'm sure he would cheer us up. Yeah, no, I agree. Honestly, it's, like I said, it's sad. The only thing we can do is just let him rest in peace. I remember after that conversation, she ended up holding my hand. And I felt really uncomfortable the fact that she did that. But to be fair, I didn't want to, like, swipe my hand away from her because her parents were watching as well. But I will say this. The parents that were there for losing their son, well, they weren't really happy about that. Because I remember afterwards, when the funeral was over, we all ended up heading over to his house. And when we were at his house, I remember we were all wearing black, just walking around, and we were all drinking apple juice. Yes, we were drinking apple juice because we were too young to drink. And basically, as we were walking around and stuff, I remember I ended up walking around, talking to people and telling them how it's sad and, you know, sharing moments like how you would usually do at a funeral after party, if it's even called a party, but you know what I mean. And as I was talking to some people, I ended up recognizing that the girl that, you know, was the dead guy's girlfriend ended up walking up to me again. She walked up to me and she kept basically latching her arm over me. And I felt really, really weird about it because, like, I don't know, I didn't want to look like I was stealing his girl even though he just died. So I remember I kept, like, you know, basically like keeping my distance. And well, one thing led to another. She ended up disappearing. I didn't know where she went, but to be honest, it wasn't my problem. Honestly, I was there to basically, you know, let out some memories about this guy, and that's really much it. But then I remember a girl ends up walking up to me saying, "Hey, are you Bubba?" Yeah, what's going on? Well, the girlfriend of the guy who passed away is upstairs in his old bedroom, and like, she doesn't want to leave it, and honestly, she keeps crying and asking for you. At that moment, I didn't really know what to do or what to say. I didn't know if I should send, you know, one of the parents up and everything, but knowing that they already were really mad at me, I decided to go up there myself. I went up the stairs to this guy's old bedroom, you know, dead boyfriend, and I looked around his room and I saw her sitting on the bed crying. I remember I walked up to her and said, "Hey, like, you shouldn't cry. Like, honestly, like, he's probably looking down on us right now in happiness." And when I said that, right away, I ended up sitting right beside her, but I knew that was a big mistake because I remember she ended up grabbing me by my shirt, pulling me in and kissing me. I remember I pushed back and I'm like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And that's when she said the words, "Bubba, you do realize this is what he would want. Are you really gonna not do what he wants us to do?" Wait, what? Wants us to do what? And that's when me and her, we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. I know it sounds insane that this girl ended up gaslighting me to basically do the Devil's Tango with her because her dead boyfriend wanted us to do it. But I'm gonna be honest here, like, I was just trying to make the guy upstairs and her happy. So I remember me and her were doing the Devil's Tango. But the worst thing ended up happening because I remember I ended up hearing the door open to his bedroom and it was legit the dead guy's parents walking in saying, What are you guys doing in this room? You guys have no respect?" And this girl had the audacity, while she was not wearing anything, saying to these parents, "Oh, this is like what he would have wanted. You don't understand." What? I remember I ended up getting my clothes on as fast as possible and I just left. I got in my car and drove home thinking, what in the world did I just do? To this day, I always have regret from doing that. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, like, you know, maybe this is what he would have wanted. I don't know. If you guys think that this is totally crazy and a fake story, then comment down below and subscribe for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.